So, in this rant, what I really want to talk about is, really just how, it's weird. It's kind of like how you got to think this world that we live in is so old. Uh, I would say older than we think. It's so old, but then I'm not gonna even go there. Uh, I'm gonna say like, you know, people like the modern society we live in today. People had to fight for it. People had to fight wars. People were enslaved. And as much as I am knowledgeable about the fact that people like me were enslaved, black people were enslaved, fuck, I almost cursed. Freaking everybody's been enslaved, man. That's what we do as human beings. We like to enslave people because we like to live in luxury, and we like. Sometimes we like to give someone a rough deal, and that's kind of putting it lightly, and then meet them halfway to accomplish something. And I'll be man enough to say, if I had to enslave some people to get some work done, and I was already secure, and I was already with my wife, and I was living in a secure environment, all I would care about is my goddamn family. I'm sorry. I'd enslave the hell out of you, whether you're black, white, or whatever. Because if it comes between me and my wife and my family, they always come first. Everything is going to fall behind that. I don't care if it's just my whole family is just me, my wife, and one child. That's not even mine. Doesn't matter. Everything falls after that. So I would become a monster if I had to upkeep my lifestyle and their lifestyle, and that makes me imperfect. That makes me probably a scumbag. But I'm human, like all of us are. And human beings are scumbags. Either you just love someone or something or a group of people, or you don't. So maybe you think that sounds crazy. That's the truth. Take it or leave it. But basically, it's funny how we in this modern society, we fought to have these luxuries like toilet paper, running water, food, fridge, internet, all that. But then, sometimes I just think like, you know, have we went through slavery and went through war to become just slaves again? You know, just a different type of slave. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just wonder. I'm not gonna. I don't really want to make this a complaining rant, like ranting about my life, about how I can never find a woman that's not taken, yada yada. I never seem to be the good enough man for a woman to choose over another, blah, 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 blah. Most women aren't attracted to black guys, so I'm always assed out. Is ass a curse word? I don't know. I'm not going to go on that rant. But aside from things that are negative that impact me psychologically and physically from day to day, um, I would have to say, you know, us as human beings in an artificial world outside of nature, because what you really want is you want to go into nature, you want to be free, you want to have freedom and time to give yourself to that realm per se, but then you also want to have time in luxury. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I'm a person who loves to get dirty. I love to be outdoors. I'm wild as hell, man. You see this on my face? Why would I do my face up like this, man? Just it's not just for views. It's cause I'm still wild, bro. I'm still wild. Just as wild as, any wild tribe that you would find. You know what I mean? Any wild creature, wild person that you would maybe encounter, or maybe some of those dangerous beings that you probably won't ever encounter. But I'm still primal, dark, and wild, man. It doesn't change. It's like you could take the warrior out of a war or out of a jungle, but you don't take the spirit out of a person. Okay, that spirit's gonna be in me until I'm old, can't even defend myself anymore, old man, impotent, probably not even popping Viagra's. Doctor probably said it's not good for your heart. Just give it up. You can't ever take the wild, primal animal spirit out of me, man. And I don't know, whatever race you are, you can't take that out of a lot of people. You're just not gonna, because you're dealing with a completely different being on a spiritual level than some other people. You're dealing with an animal. If you could, I was just say not person, but if you could call it a person, I would say it's more of an animal, really. You know, and those of us know that, like, when it comes to combat, you have to be an animal to survive. I don't care what type of style you like, how you fight, how skilled you are. I don't care about how much composed, because you can be a straight animal and be very composed, very calm, very technical, and the end result is pure violence. I don't care how civil it is. How it can be very civil. It can be you just choking a person out. That's still, still pretty animalistic, if you ask me. At least in the minds of most people, they think once you put your hand on a person, that's you're just going into the animal realm. It's just brutal. I don't know, but this rant is like how this may not be politically correct, but look, I'm gonna say sometimes I feel like I'm looking at a world that is backwards, perverted, and soft and fruity. But you know what? That's why you gotta find happiness in life. If you can. You gotta find happiness. You gotta find what makes you happy. Regardless of how disgusted you may be with certain things you see around me. Around you, I mean. You know, I'm pretty sure someone would look at me and say that I'm disgusting. I'm pretty sure just the sight of me disgusts them. But don't like it, don't look at it, I guess, right? That's the way I am, Just don't look at it if you don't like it, you know. So that's kind of what this rant is kind of about, sort of. So I also wanted to talk about something that's this is probably where people are gonna just turn away. They're gonna be like, oh, f this vlog, f this rant. This guy's crazy. He talking about some crazy stuff. F this vlog. Get out of here. But you know, so it's interesting because it's almost like I get that things are cycles, and I get it. Sometimes things are chaotic, and literally, it's almost like it's inevitable that chaos is the end of in a physical existence. At least I'll say, at least in a more primitive civilization, in a, let's say, just realm, like a realm, because this is a realm. You got to understand, this is a physical realm. There's spiritual aspects to this realm that we human beings walk in, and this is where it's going to get a little woo woo spooky. So if you don't like it, if you're not going to want to hear about anything like that, then I guess you might as well leave now. There are gateways. There are gateways and portals, what you want to call them, or vortex or barriers. There are barriers to other worlds, to other realms, I guess, of existence, and there are beings that actually can come through there to here, back and forth. So that's why I have to really correctly say it. I mean, this is a realm that we live in. Just like when you die, there there's a realm or realms that you can go to only when you really die. Okay, or maybe that you can only stay in prolonged when you're actually just dead. You know, or sometimes for you to pass through to another realm, you would die because your body would be destroyed. So you would die, kind of like as default. You would die if you were to pass through. You know. So basically, what I'm saying is, and the thing is, I wouldn't say I've always known this, but over years and years of different people's experiences and hearing different people talk about that concept, I've come to realize that it's a very real thing. Um, but so there was someone that was talking about this. I think it was on a podcast or something, and they were saying how they were being a channeler, I guess, or medium. And the thing was, they said that many people that they talked to that went to that realm, let's say one of those realms, they hated it. Uh, and this realm was a physical realm, but to pass through it, you have to pass through a vortex, you know. And obviously, this vortex is in the wilderness. I'll always say, and I'll always keep telling people, it is true. Don't let people fool you. Don't believe that because you live in a city or you live in civilization that it's all fairy tales and movies in Hollywood. That if you go deep into enough wilderness, especially wilderness that is not inhabited by people constantly, and there's not a lot of traffic of people, I'm telling you, if you stay out there long enough, not that you will inevitably, but it's a chance that you will run into something that is not, let's just say, non-human, and there's a chance that you could possibly find yourself thinking you're just going through here or there, and you end up in it's like think of the game Silent Hill. Like you end up in another realm, okay? And this actually can be dangerous. Like I'm talking, I'm not gonna say the swear word, but I'm talking real stuff right now. I'm talking stuff that's life or death. This is not just some superstitious nonsense. You can call me crazy if you want, but it's the truth. And you may never come back. Some people may never come back. You'll go missing and never come back. Not saying you'd even die, but you may never come back to this realm. Um, so, with that being said, about people hating it, this place was described as an extremely dense forest, almost, or rainforest, but extremely dense. Uh, and there were prehistoric types of animals there. There were also very the dogmen, Bigfoot, all types of beings that are non-human. I would honestly call them extraterrestrial beings, um, because probably a lot of them really are. Or if they're not extraterrestrial, they were here before us on this earth, longer than us, and they just happen to more or less go into hiding, or their original realm. They tend to stay more there and venture out to where we are on occasion for probably very good reasons, I would imagine. Um, so the funny thing is, the whole concept of that is like you got to think. Yeah, I would hate it too. I would hate it too. I don't want to be running around getting lit up by mosquitoes that are probably huge. Some of these mosquitoes, probably bigger than the ones that we have, and all types of crazy bugs and uh, it could be parasites and like germs and stuff that would probably kill you fast. Like, you know what happens if you leave a person in the rainforest and they really, I mean, do you even know what happens to people that do know how to survive in the rainforest? Sometimes they die, man. It's miserable. So I think it's very profound that like nature itself, as much as we are deprived of nature and we love our luxuries and civilization, and our civilization is all, it's almost like you can't live without one or the other, and both of them will kill you, whether emotionally, physically, or both. So what's the key to any existence? To find true happiness and to try your best to create a life and environment around you that is fulfilling and that is a positive to you, not a negative. And not saying it would be perfect, but you want to try to make the best of things. But you just gotta think like when you really talk about like older cultures, older civilizations, older ways of thinking, a lot of that is in this society, but it's a lot of it is very like what's the word stigmatized, demonized. Put a lot. It's a lot of fear involved with it. You know, but then you got to think like uh, I don't know. Is it really that scary? Is it really that dark, or is it just something we don't really understand so much? Like I guess no one's really understood these things, and that's not really that's kind of a dumb statement, but you gotta understand what I mean. Even people that possibly way back would call something, let's say they called something a bad omen, it could not, maybe not necessarily be negative, honestly. It may not even impact them at all. Like a being in itself, the sight of a being in itself is just something you saw. It doesn't mean that it's going to interact with you in any way. You know, so ignorance has always existed. No matter how old and wise these people were, no matter how spiritual they may have been, you're still always going to get misunderstanding. It doesn't matter who you are. But that's really that's really like a thing, and it always will be a thing. So it's really backwards. It's kind of like how when it snows, you want it to be warm. When it's warm, you start wishing it was snowing again. And this may sound crazy, but I will almost dare say this physical experience is just. It's almost like you wish that you were not in a physical body. That's how I put it. Like you would almost wish that you would be somewhere where you could experience things, but you may be in a spot where there's no exact suffering, where things are at least baseline. I always feel like suffering comes about when something hits an extreme. You know what I mean? Like when things hit an extreme, where there's a constant uncomfortability. Uncomfortable. I can't even say it. Whatever. Can't even get it out. Can't even get the word out, man. What I'm trying to say is when you're uncomfortable constantly for long enough in any way, that's where that's where I feel like everyone draws the line. You know what I mean? Like a breeze is a breeze, but when you're freezing cold and every day you're waking up and you're like shivering, it's too cold, too cold, like that. So it's just interesting, just like even people that live very luxurious life sometimes they can't find like fulfillment And so, sadly, the worst thing I'd ever imagine is they can't even find love. Like they can't really even, they'll be alone all the time. Like I'm alone all the time. I fucking there goes a curse, and I freaking hate it. It drives me insane, honestly. Um, it drives me insane. Then I have to watch everyone with a girlfriend, boyfriend. It just drives me insane. You know what I mean? I would say the only benefit of that type of stimulus to me is it makes me a better fighter. That's all it does. It makes me a more violent person who doesn't spare anything. You know, like if you were to have me train for a cage fight and tell me to go in a cage with someone, it could be the nicest guy in the world, and I all you have to say is point to me. And let's say if I was the winner of that fight and I completely wiped the floor of that guy, there would be a person like me will hold nothing back. There will be no, I don't want to hurt this guy. Nah, all you got to do is point. Because I have enough anger in me from years of depression, years of loneliness, years of anger, all of that. You know what I mean? That's what that does to someone like me. You know. Um, but the crazy, ironic thing is, just us as a human race. The thing is, we, it's like we get to a higher level in something. Like we make strides in technology, strides in civilization, and then what we end up in is just another mess of crap. That's what it is, you know. That's what I see. That's what I see. That's not all I see, but that's the biggest thing I really see when I wake up and I look at the world and I look at the news. That's what I see. Um, and I don't like what I see, man. I don't like what I see. And another thing I'm gonna have to touch on is I'm gonna touch on it. This is negative, and this is someone's gonna say, "Oh, here we go again." I'm gonna touch on this, man. Um, this whole soft stuff, this whole like, you know, people, what's the word? People being like triggered by everything, like just the slightest bit of violence. It's like, don't you know that we used to kill people? Don't you know that? I'm not just talking about black people that look like me. I'm talking about, don't you know that a warrior is a class? Don't you know that we're born warriors? Just like you could be born a worker, you could be born a ruler. You're born a warrior. You could be made a warrior, but most of us warriors are born. I consider myself someone that was born a warrior and born a hunter. So violence is not like violence is not that not such a big trigger for me is what I'm trying to say. But then you got a lot of these people that you guys are, I'm sorry, but you guys are soft and you men are downright gay and fruity. I'm just keep it real. You guys are soft and you straight up gay and fruity. It's like it's almost like you it's almost like you're just built different. You're just made different. You're just born different. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong, but does it annoy the hell out of me? It does. It annoys the hell out of me. Cause I look at some people and I'm like, man, you mean to tell me that I'm struggling over here and I'm trying to like struggle to find happiness. I'm trying to find a wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to basically I have to compete with other men for a woman, and then you guys over here want to sit and play freaking kumbaya like this is a freaking game, like this is a Disney movie. So you mean to tell me that you're scared to fight? You're scared to fight. You want to make friends. I mean, I'm just saying it's like the polar it's like polar opposites. It's like I don't it doesn't mesh with me. You know what I mean? Um, or then you get these people where men and women, gay or straight, whatever they are, but you get these people where like literally they don't see the conflict in front of them, or someone like me could be completely having a mental meltdown inside, but for some reason they actually don't put two and two together. It's funny, like they actually don't understand that like literally how could a person like me be alone all the time, single all the time, and not be ready to saw someone's head off? It's like how why would you think for 1 second that just because I'm composed that you can see that I will not saw a man's head off? It's like, so you don't think that I'm angry? Is that what it is? So you actually think? So it means you're that dumb. You're dumb enough to think that like, what am I just? I'm just happy-go-lucky like you are. What I'm trying to say is, it's almost like some people their lifestyle is so secure that they really don't think that they don't understand how someone could be so angry or why. And I mean, that's not wrong. I have to say it again. I'm one of those people. I don't really believe in wrong or right so much. I believe in like what's the word? I can't even think of what it's called. It's almost like subjective. It's like to one person it would be wrong, to another person it would be completely right. Just like how killing ants to you seems right, but to someone else it would seem wrong. To ants it would seem wrong. If they were smart, it would seem wrong. You know. Um, so I'm just saying, like it amazes me, like, dang. Man, so you mean to tell me? And the funny thing is, how I know that's a thing is because I've seen people's reactions sometimes. Like they'll hear me say something, and they'll look at me and they have this crazed face, like as if like as if I'm the craziest person in the world. It's like, so you mean to tell me that you never got actually really mad about something? So you mean to tell me that if like your wife and kids or your husband and kids or something were to just vanish and you were just completely alone, what would you? How would you feel about that? What would you just say? Like, well, there's plenty of fish in the sea, and smile and like try to just get another pair? I don't know. Is that how that works for you? Because I would think that you'd be mad and want to saw someone's head off. You know, especially maybe the person that took them away. You know, kind of just like how I think any man or woman understands this. Like, if you really have feelings for a woman or a man, whoever you are, how someone could just look at them that's not you a certain way and you'd be ready to saw that person. Like, if you could literally do things without going to jail and without what's the word, being caught or whatever, you would go over, subdue that person, and saw that person's head off. You know, like that's like me walking into a guy's house and telling him get out in a to take his ring off his wife's finger, put my ring on it, and just live there. Like what? See, that's what I mean. It's like, see, it's almost like back then, us warriors, we had that mentality. So we understood that something was a problem and we did something about it. We took land, we killed, we murdered, we slaughtered. It's not a good thing, but I'll tell you this: it was necessary and it got done. Okay, because we weren't soft. That's the thing. Like I said, you could take us out of a war, you could take us out of the jungle, but you can't kill that spirit. In this society, what I'm saying is that spirit is dead in a lot of people. Like people want to sit around and smoke. People want to sit around and play video games. People don't want to train. People are soft and straight up freaking tutti fruity, and it's disgusting. It's all freaking disgusting to me. But I guess it's your choice. You know, live your life how you're gonna live it. But you know what? I'm gonna end it here. I guess some people or some of us are just a different breed.